Okay, so here's a topic I don't believe many people touch upon: safe or safety deposit boxes. Let's talk today about the pros and cons of the safe or safety deposit boxes. And is there a frugal alternative? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is Jan. Welcome to another episode on this channel, the Save Money and More with Jan channel. How's everybody doing today? And as always, I hope that everybody is doing well. I'm getting my trusty notebook. I did make a few notes, things that I knew offhand and some things I didn't know offhand. I didn't know that some banks are beginning to phase out safe or safety deposit boxes. Okay, that's something I learned today. But here are at least some of the pros of getting a safe deposit box. A safety deposit box offers the following: enhanced security. Well, that makes sense. Enhanced security for your valuable items, right? Some people put jewelry, some people store paperwork in there. But they also come with limits. Okay, yeah, there are restrictions that go along with it. We'll get into that. And then another thing is that, but here's another positive, is that it offers safety from theft. The risk of theft is a lot less than if you just, have it hanging around somewhere. Uh, Risk of theft, fire, or other situations like possibly a natural disaster. So you have an increased risk of safety, good risk, safety. Okay. But here are some of the cons. Okay. Limited access. What does that mean? Well, banker's hours. That's when you could get into your safety deposit box. Yeah, during the day. Banker's hours. When they're closed, they're closed. You need something out of there at 10 p.m. at night? Tough toenails. Can't get it. I know. That's pretty scary, right? So you do have limited access. That's another thing. The other thing is that, not that it's a lot of money, I can't say it is, not really, but the annual fee, I don't know if they do it annually or monthly. I believe it's usually annually, renter's fee. It's pretty manageable for most people, but however, it does depend on the size of the box that you are renting. So most people keep them for valuable papers or storing jewelry. Sometimes some people even decide to put some cash in there. Okay. Sometimes some people do that. So let's say a person decided to do that, and again, I reiterate, it's 10 o'clock at night, and guess what? Inconvenient. Got to wait till the morning, till the bank opens again. So that's a con, okay? So that's a con. However, there are some things, though, that nobody talks about. I wanted to make it official if they still allow co-renting, co-renting of a safety deposit box, meaning like not just yourself, but you could have your husband, your wife, your partner, whatever, two people on the same in the same box. Let me ask you a question offhand. How do you feel about that? Is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? I would say, for all intents and purposes, it's more of a convenient thing if one can't get to the bank or whatever, and somebody else could do it, and or the two people also want to share their shared important documents in that. I mean, for the most part, and for its original good intents and purposes, yeah, that's wonderful. But there's something that nobody ever thinks about. Like what, Jan? What if the other person, what if one of the co-renters, what if you're in a relationship with someone and the relationship doesn't work out? And somebody, the first one, decides to run over to that safe deposit box and unfortunately takes everything. Did you know that all those things that are in there are not insured? They are not insured. That means, oh well, too bad, so sad. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. So to me, that sounds a little complicated and a lot of crazy, but that's just my opinion of that. There are alternatives today. Believe it or not, there are some digital ways to store things. Um, I mean, I'm not familiar with it, but you can look it up. And how about this idea, which has been around for many, many years? A lot of people buy what I remember, like, let's say my dad used to call it a strong box back in the day. Okay. Go for a good quality, go for a good quality uh, safety deposit box of your own, sort of like a strong box, as my dad used to call it. Now, let me look up the exact word for that. Good quality home safes that are fireproof might be a good alternative. And it's interesting. Think about something. If there is a natural disaster, well, suppose you cannot get to your bank because of that natural disaster, but you could run into your home while you're right there and grab your stuff. Does that make a ton of sense? There are like a lot of things to think about. On a scale of 1 to 10, what is my honest opinion of getting a safe deposit box? This is purely my opinion, and it's based on a situation that happened to someone I know. That someone was in a marital situation with someone, and they shared a co-rented safety deposit box. Okay, and they had some paperwork and some other items in there that were of great importance to them, and things didn't work out. Most people think that others forget about the safety or safe deposit box and the contents that are in it. Oh, no, 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 no. That person's spouse snuck in there, if you will. I call it snuck, even though they were entitled to it, but didn't mention it. Didn't mention it. That's the sneaky part. They didn't mention to the person that they were leaving that they're going in there and they took everything out of it. That's kind of scary and creepy, right? Kind of like not cool at all. So there are a lot of things to consider. Okay. I don't know. I would lean against getting a good, I mean, I would lean for, not against, I would lean for getting a good quality home safe that is fireproof. You have access to it all the time. It isn't for the annual rent. Usually, like I said earlier, the annual rent numbers, I mean, to rent one of those boxes, to me, is not that expensive at all. The other thing, though, that's very uncomfortable is that none of that stuff is insured. It's not FDIC insured, put it that way. And I do understand from what I researched when I double checked in modern times how people use them today, they were more commonly used, let's say 30, 40, 50 years ago at the bank. But they're beginning to become phased out, which is very interesting for those who don't know that. So, check with your bank and then, just to find out if that, anything affects. Now, if there's a bank failure, I don't know what happens if the bank goes away. I don't know what happens. I mean, this is a good question. What does happen to people and their belongings in those safety deposit boxes? So a little bit of food for thought that I thought needs addressing. I know I spoke about it a long time ago, maybe 3, 4 years ago, but I said, we're due for the safe deposit box updates, and let's talk about it and see how you guys feel about it. Is it a better idea to get a home safe or what? All right, everybody, thank you so much for being here. I really do appreciate everybody's time. Don't forget to click like, share, and subscribe. Take good care of yourself and your amazing family. Super thanks are always welcome. Thank you.